We're right back, guys. Okay. Feel free to say hi. I'm going to give it a few minutes. Let people circulate in. I want to get some viewers here today because if you've been watching my posts, you know we've got some resolution and I'm ready to share it. I hope everybody's going to pay attention. It's going to help solve a lot of problems and help institute some new remedies for other people along the way. It's going to help teach our younger generations how to start out. Because what I found out with the issue here with PayPal after spending 4 hours on the phone with Catherine yesterday is we want to establish it set up as a pass-through where we have our own routing number. And we want to do that. We want to do that on both ends. So when we can, when we get a PayPal account and establish our own routing numbers, it allows us to operate privately through the banks. So having a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, something like that, where you can load up with your regular credit card, but then from that point on, it's a cash card and it's private routing number. Just like the gift cards that you buy at the stores. That's a private routing number, and you could take one of those cards and enter that number in a PayPal account. So you don't have to have a PayPal account yourself. You can get a gift card and then enter it in. Make sure it's a gift card. It shouldn't go through as a credit card. Gift or cash card, and that's it. So we're going to talk about that, and hopefully people will pay attention. I've spent the last 6 years doing my research stuff, and if you look through these recent videos, you'll see where I've got evidence where I established my statement of separation. I also established a separation with Facebook, and they now recognize Keith Little, but then in parentheses it's El Hotep II Pero. Now in that statement of separation, you'll see that that's the new name I placed in that statement of separation, so that from now on, things I hope will be able to be established under El Hotep II Pero. So eventually my next step is to be able to remove the name Keith Little and the Social Security number. But for now, I've got to be able to use that name because nobody's recognizing the name change until I get the statement of separation out there first. This is basically, it's a faith-based union is what it's established as. So I have to have my own faith in my own self to establish and create El Hotep II Pero in a developmental stage. So that's what I'm doing. So one day, you people will see me making writings just like Samuel Clemens. You'll see the Keith Little. You'll know it's Keith Little. But he took upon the new name, El Hotep II Pero, and he wrote from there in that second seat about third persons that nobody could make any possible war about because it's a known fiction. So why cry about it? It's not truth. It's just fiction. It's only true if you want it to be true. And believe you me, I want the Tom Sawyer of me to be true. I've told people before, you can take me out of Mississippi, but you ain't going to take the mighty, muddy Mississippi out of me. And that's what I truly want to be. So that's what I'm working towards. So again, remember guys, I'm not doing this for me. If I was doing anything for me, I'd be out there. I'm doing this for you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I can go survive without their banking system. I have a greater duty to help people in these communities to learn how to do that, because one day we'll be able to remove some of these scabs from this earth. And this is how we do it. Private negotiations. So, let's get on with it. First, before I show you the email and the process and then post it, I'm going to show everybody a couple things about the international notice on my site. And again, it's a .warrior or a .art site, so they have no way to enter. If they have no way to enter from their commercial realm into a private realm, they can't make me take this down unless they find that there is a definite lie creating libel and slander. I've not done that. So let's go down. First, it's in reference to the phone conversation with PayPal Fraud Department, employee number 44702 at this time. So again, I didn't name anybody specifically. I gave a number. And the name and number identify a record. I made no accusation against a man. Keith Orland Little, FBU, www, World Wide Web routing number. And I made a point of this because when it comes down to it, under Regulation Y, CFR Part 225, Bank Holding Companies and Change in Bank Control. Regulation Y. Who controls the number to begin with? Social Security. PayPal got access to it and instituted its contract with Bancorp Bank with their routing number so that they could provide an account. And PayPal also has a contract with MasterCard so they could provide the card for the account. Okay? So first and foremost, we have PayPal. In that contract, they have these other two contracts. I gave PayPal the Social Security number, not Bancorp, not MasterCard. PayPal. Okay? I gave Social Security number to PayPal, and I have a statement of separation stating that I can't put liability on that record. I recognize the espionage laws, and to place a public liability on that record, you're placing a public liability on Social Security, not me. I gave you a beneficiary number. I cannot take upon liability, and PayPal, by placing a liability on that account presumptuously, is a violation of law. You cannot place a liability on Social Security unless they said so or unless I said so. I never communicated any such liability. And I know Social Security didn't do so on my behalf because I didn't give them consent to do so. I gave them a statement of separation stating I wouldn't. So you go down and you read the rest of this and you see all kinds of good stuff. I hope you guys read it. The next part I want to point out is this 15-month rule and notices in accordance with the original classification. Now, originally you're classified through the birth registration and a Social Security number, and it's through the organization Social Security. The 15-month rule, IRC 508A, provides generally that an organization organized after December 9th, 1969 will not be treated as described in IRC 501c3 unless it gives notice to the service, IRS service. It is not Social Security service, it is Social Security Administration. So if you don't give notice to the service, who's giving notice to them? Did the Social Security give them notice? No. You did when you filed taxes. You gave the service notice. In that notice, you were professing that you were organized. You had a board of supervisors, a CEO, a CFO, and you could, in fact, hire an attorney to file suit in a state court when that is in fact wrong. In an appropriate manner for appropriations, allotments, things like that. That's a military term. Regulation 1.508-1A2I provides in part that this notification requirement is satisfied when an organization seeking exemption under IRC 501c3 files a properly completed and executed Form 1023 within 15 months from the end of the month in which it was organized. You are not classified as organized until you give notice to the service. No one else is going to give them notice. And when you give them notice, you're giving them notice upon application that you are organized. If you don't give them a Form 1023 within 15 months of an exemption, then you're recognized as organized. Because you applied first. And that's for a specific rate, which is a postal regulatory rate. Regulation 1.508A, 1A2II provides further that an organization will be considered organized on the date it became an organization described in Section 501c3, which is when you apply to be a 501c3. This notification requirement set forth in IRC 508A is subject to exceptions, and these are listed in IRC 508C. There is a mandatory exception to notice which is applicable to 1. Churches who apply for 501c3, otherwise they wouldn't be recognized as churches. They're integrated auxiliaries, again, because they wouldn't be recognized as integrated unless the church applied. And conventions or associations of churches, or any organization other than a private foundation, the gross receipts of which in each taxable year are normally not more than $5,000. So they're saying if you don't make $5,000 a year, you don't have to report, and that if you are organized, then you have to report if you make more than $5,000. Watch this. The exceptions in IRC 508C are interpreted and explained by Regulation 1.508-1A3. With this background presented, this topic will explore several issues that have been considered in connection with IRC 508 notice requirements. Notice requirements. The only notice requirement in here is this here, which is described in 501c3, which is completing a Form 1023 within 15 months after you've organized. You don't have to file anything within 15 months if you've never been organized. Therefore, if you don't organize and they don't have a filing, and which does not notify the commissioner within the time in the manner prescribed in paragraph 2, the one we just read, that it is not a private foundation, will be presumed to be a private foundation. So if you just quit reporting to the service, just quit reporting to the service. I still used the Social Security number. I quit reporting to the service almost 20 years ago, people. Don't pay child support. Nothing. They can't place a public liability on that account. I'm telling you. Your only response is to be internal as to the effect of correction of your records. Nothing more. PayPal has already violated 15 U.S.C. 1, 15 U.S.C. 3, 15 U.S.C. 1692 C, and 15 U.S.C. 1692 E. Again, you can finish reading that up. But what I want to point out is I got their 10K form. And they are a holding company. They do not distribute information. They report information. In their distributing information in their reports that I was receiving taxable income, they made a false declaration. A declaration is an entry into the record. What record? They moved it from their record to the IRS record. They made a false declaration to the IRS record. They failed to understand this until I finally got it through Catherine's, my conversation with Catherine yesterday. She finally understood that. And of course, it's got its address, the phone number, the securities and everything, power of attorney, all of their financial officers and everything. And I am not afraid of meeting anyone and every last one of these people in front of the International Bank of Settlements if it ever has to go that far. And I'll point out why. Our ability to receive the benefit of U.S. merchant finance offering may be subject to challenge. Now, what is a merchant finance offering, guys? Merchant loans under our U.S. PayPal working capital. Their capital is being able to provide the card and the account. That is what they are loaning you. They are loaning you the account and the card for its use. And PayPal Business Loan, products. That's what those are. They're products from PayPal Business Loan and PayPal Working Capital. Are provided by a state-chartered industrial bank under a program agreement with us. And we acquire the receivables generated by those loans after origination. In June 2020, largely in response to Madden versus Midland Funding, LLC case decided in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation approved a final rule clarifying that loans originated by state-chartered non-member banks remain valid throughout the lifetime of the loan. The loan came from Bancorp. They loaned MasterCard the ability to provide a credit card by using Bancorp as a creditor. PayPal did the same thing. Okay? Reflecting a similar rule finalized by the Office of Comptroller of Currency in May 2020. The final rule reaffirms and codifies in regulation the so-called valid when made doctrine. Now, it goes to intent as to validity when made. If people on the other end are giving a donation and that's what their intent is, and somehow a mistake is made, it no longer follows the validity of the intent. And that's what we've got to get back to, folks. So let's get on with this email. You guys can read the rest of that on the site. I'm going to go through this email I got from Catherine from PayPal Executive Escalations. And first of all, I want to let everybody know before I go any further, I did get the link posted and it is open and working. I did receive a couple donations already, so God bless, thank you, I appreciate it. And it just goes to show proof that you can provide your own remedy, and usually you have to step on them. You have to let them know you are not going to take it, you are the boss, and you are not going to back down. Period. So let's get on with it. And notice, it did not come from some funky PayPal or some funky email like I pointed out in my previous videos. I'll point it out again. Just so anybody that hasn't seen my previous videos will see, when they respond and they lock my account, this is the kind of email I get. And then when they set me an action required, it looks kind of familiar, but they said the name of regret. That sounds like psychological intimidation to me. And so it says, note this address as a postal route. And it is a postal regulatory commission you are subject to. Would imply possible retaliation and intimidation and possibly violation of the Constitution of the Universal Postal Union and regulations set forth by the International Bank of Settlements. You think I'm regretting anything I'm doing? You fail to comprehend what I bring to the table. Dear Keith Little, thank you for taking the time on March 11th, 2022 to discuss your concerns regarding PayPal reporting payments received as goods and services to IRS as taxable income. In follow-up to your conversation and in hopes of fully addressing your concerns, a private routing number, I have provided further details. I want to thank you for bringing this matter to my attention. I can certainly understand how frustrating this process must have been for you. Had I been in your place, I would have felt the same way. Equal consideration, a meeting of the minds. I had the opportunity to review your concerns, and I'm happy to shed some light on what happened and bring things out of the shadows. PayPal values you as our customer and wants to make your experience with us a positive one. After further review of the information provided, I am happy to inform you that I have taken the action requested. I have taken the action requested because I am not required to do much except explain the problem so we can get to a resolution. Once we find the resolution, then I can start taking actions again. Until then, I stand firm. I do not have firm standing in courts of suits of law. I stand firm. And downgraded your PayPal account from a business account to a personal account. So anybody that's got a PayPal account that isn't set up as a personal account, you have to close that account. I'm not sure about the personal accounts. I will contact Catherine and ask her that. But I believe from the personal account, you can change it to a cash card. You can close down your old card and get a cash card. So I will get information on that. I then removed your PayPal Me link as it was set up to receive commercial payments. It was set up to receive both commercial and donations. But since it was set up to receive commercial payments, it placed a presentment or a presumption on the record that if it did come in as a commercial payment, then I would be held liable because I accepted commercial payments. So that you could set up another one in order to receive personal payments made by personal decisions and not public decisions by public interveners following public policy. Further, we had closed your PayPal business debit card so that you could order yourself a cash card associated with your personal account. That's what we want. We want a cash card associated with the personal account, and that way it operates as a pass-through from the original, from the point of origin to the final destination by a private routing number on both ends. Your own routing number on both ends. And it just passes through PayPal. Okay? Please see below for further details regarding your complaint and our response. As we confirmed that the reason the payments you were receiving were processed through a donation button on a business PayPal account, it was decided that the best course of action would be to downgrade your account to a personal account additionally with a PayPal cash card that you can only have with a personal account. Okay? So you're changing both the name and the number. The name and number identify the record. So you're going to change both the name and the number. You have the ability to take advantage of additional PayPal features such as direct deposit, and it will be including information on that below. Enrollment for direct deposit is available for eligible PayPal consumer accounts in the U.S. with direct deposit. Your money goes right to your PayPal balance. There are no limits, no fees, and it is free to set up with PayPal. It's free to set up. But like I said, you got to give them a transaction fee to letting it go through. They're worthy of their hire. Without them, you would not be able to do this. You would have to do it directly with a bank. And again, you can do this with the bank and you just give them the fee. You have to establish a private routing number, your own routing number. That's it. Customers who have enrolled for a PayPal Cash Card are auto-enrolled for direct deposit if you already have a PayPal Cash Card. They're auto-enrolled for direct deposit if you have a PayPal Cash Card. You've been giving your own routing and account number. To sign up for direct deposit on the PayPal website, click the settings icon, click Set Up or View Direct Deposit link. You'll be provided with a PayPal assigned account number and routing number. It's that simple. Provide this information to your payer, your employer, or government agency through email or by printing the form. Here's how you find your direct deposit information. So you can have your paychecks directly deposited right to your PayPal account. And again, if you're using a Social Security number, make sure you're clarifying that with the employer that they can't place a public liability on there. You're offering it as a beneficiary so you can be employed, but the public liability remains on the Social Security who holds the record. The name and number identify the record, and Social Security is the holder of that record. They have custody of the record. You have the card as beneficial user. That's it. And then it says, here's how to find your direct deposit information. And then it goes through and tells you that. Here's how to find your direct deposit information in PayPal app. Tells you how to do that. Additionally, your PayPal Me link was set up to only receive commercial payments. And that was an error. I thought I had it set up as donations and commercial payments. It was set up to receive only commercial payments. As such, I closed out that link for you. To request money, just share your PayPal Me link with whomever you wish to collect money from. And that's why I said I got that set up. I had to make sure it was valid. Now it's being shared, and I've got donations through it already. Thank you kindly. That's how quick and easy it is. I still can't use the funds unless I use it online and can get with Catherine to have her release the funds until I get the car. Until I get the card, I can't do anything without Catherine. But with Catherine, I can have her release the funds. She's the fiduciary. Okay? So you can share your link through any messaging or social networking app, including SMS, Facebook, Google Hangouts, WhatsApp, your client email, etc. You can also just type your PayPal Me link directly into a browser to access your page. Per your request, I am also including instructions how your family and friends can send you personal payments. And then it goes down and tells you how to do that. We apologize for any inadequacy you experienced when contacting PayPal's customer support. We have provided appropriate training to our representatives to improve this process for similar situations that may arise in the future. They have been given notice, folks. They have taken my notice. And they, through my notice, will help present this to everybody else that now applies for this. So I will put this information out there, and I urge everybody to change your PayPal account to this if it's not already set up like this. PayPal personal account with a cash card. Nothing else. One of PayPal's core beliefs is that the open exchange of ideas and feedback is vital and robust and thriving online community and to the economy it supports. Most improvements we make in our payment system are driven by member feedback. Make sure you're not going to be a pussy about it. If you have an issue, declare it. Stand by it and do not let them give you a runaround. Do not let them give you a runaround. So we are grateful to know how your experience affected you. As a member of the Executive Escalations Office, I have the ability to provide your feedback directly to our executive staff to facilitate positive customer service changes to the benefit of the entire PayPal community. They recognize our portion in benefiting in the PayPal community as well co-beneficiaries of the United States. Okay? Thank you for giving. That's what it's it. That's what it's about, folks. Thank you. Alms for giving. This is forgiveness. It's a communication, negotiable instrument. That's how you forgive each other. For giving me the opportunity to address your concerns. Should you have questions or concerns regarding a different PayPal matter, you may contact PayPal's Office of Executive Escalations at executiveoffice@paypal.com. Very sincerely yours, Catherine, PayPal Executive Offices. Copyright. Copyright. Versus copyright. You think I have an ounce of regret, folks? I'm sharing my profits. I'm sharing my talents. And it is prosperous and abundant for all else. Please pay attention when I post these links or these the process to do this, and take advantage of it. Get yourself a PayPal cash card, and if you have any problems, just work it out. There's an executive office at paypal.com. Easy peasy. From now on, you're welcome. Have a great day, and remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. Please take advantage of this one thing so we can learn how to share freely through the environment that we are involved in as a military script. Learn how to issue your own commands. Again, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless. Have a great day. Bye. I'll have that post up soon.